Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. I never know what day of the week it is. I'm sitting at my desk. My kids aren't home. I'm going to go with it's Monday. Welcome back to expense tracking, the important part of budgeting. So I've heard. Our budget this month has gone a little wonky. We were trying to kind of make a stockpile of money because we knew that we'd have some expenses. Some of them have happened, and some of them were unexpected. I've had now 2 root canals in the last month. I went in for a filling and I left with a root canal. It was great. That was very unexpected. Those cost a couple $100 that I was not fully anticipating. So that blew up a little bit. And if you've seen other videos, I've mentioned me doing an intensive 6-week diet workout plan. That ended, and I did sign up to become a regular member of the gym that I go to. It's a very small local gym. There's 70 members or something like that. So I did sign up for that, and because it is a small local personal trainer type gym and not like a 24-hour fitness or Planet Fitness or these big chains, it is more expensive. So that was something I did not fully account for before. So our budget got reworked quite a bit. But we did have that stockpile. I put it as a line item. And so we pulled from that to kind of cover a little bit here and there, which is kind of what it was for. Going forward into November, I do now know how much to budget for a gym membership. So that will be new in our budget for November. And I think, we're going into the holidays. So I have family coming into town in a few weeks for starting holidays and big birthdays. We've got 6 family birthdays in 1 month. We're doing a big birthday party in a couple of weeks to cover everybody towards the end of the year. How to account for that, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have a discussion with my husband about it, and we'll make up November's budget. And I'll be back on Friday with November's budget, which is also Halloween. And we're going into Halloween. Oh, okay. So after that nice long ramble of my whole week and stress that has been happening this week, along with sick kids and doctor's appointments and all the things. I think I had an appointment every single day last week, between orthodontist and dentists and follow-up exams and my own doctor's appointments and everything. So hopefully it calms down. It calms down as we go into the holidays. Hopefully. But this will be October 20th through the 26th, which is yesterday. So Monday through Sunday is my normal. Last weekend was our last band competition, so I don't have to account for extra gas or eating out budgets or anything like that. So starting on Monday the 20th, really hope I got that right. This was just some general normal bills. Internet got taken out, and that is $108 every month. And also our car insurance. We have 2 different car insurances. I don't know if that's the actual plural of that. If you've heard me talk about it before, this is our quote unquote normal one that covers our family cars and our not antique collectible cars. This one is $255.33, and this did go down slightly, or is going to go down slightly, because my husband sold one of his cars. So that got sold. That money got put into our high yield savings account for right now, as we figure out exactly where it's going at the moment. And then also on Monday, my husband and I had a coffee date, because that is the only date that we have been able to have when all the kids go to school. So we went to our downtown to our local coffee shop that a neighbor had recommended. It was pretty good. And just 2 drinks and a pastry was almost $17, $16.98. So not bad. And we get to spend some time, just the two of us together. Tuesday, we didn't really do anything. And then Wednesday, the 22nd, it just started our whole spending week. Started streaming with our Amazon Prime, which is now $14.99. We do get football on it. And I think that's where I rewatched all of Downton Abbey. Now I need to find watching a show itself is not that bad. Watching a movie is much harder. I need to find time to watch the 2 movies now. I filled up the family car on Wednesday after my appointment. It was empty. It was yelling at me, saying, "You need to put gas in me now." And it really does, actually. You turn it on, and if it determines it's low on gas, it'll yell at you. There'll be a light on the dash, and the screen will pop up with, "We need gas." And then you have to ignore it or leave it there. The other thing I did, I did a whole bunch of errands. I had a doctor's appointment. I went and put gas in the car, and I went to the store. $75.51 was the total that I spent at the store. And that was between groceries and medical is a little bit of catch-all for any vitamins or supplements, or my husband got a wrist brace from an old injury, doctor's appointments, co-pays, any medication that the kids need. So a couple weeks ago, when the baby had tubes put in, we needed eardrops. Yes, I said eye drops. Eardrops. And that came out of medical too. So that's kind of a catch-all. And this was just some vitamins and things at the store. And that was $50 in groceries and $25 for medical. And then the other thing I did was a big Sam's Club order. It's still a little frustrating for me that I live too far away to get what the site calls deliveries. So I have to do shipping, and when you do shipping, it doesn't let you order refrigerated or frozen items. So when we end up going into one of the towns that are an hour away that have a Sam's Club, then we get frozen and refrigerated everything. But this one was just a double box of diapers and double thing of formula. And that still came out to $197.59. So this one did end up putting us over our original budget for baby items. But I knew we needed it. The daycare needed diapers, and we gave them the last half sleeve of the ones that we had. And luckily the other half sleeve we had just restocked into where the drawer that we keep diapers in. So it needed to be done, but it's still frustrating that when I do that, it costs so much. the 23rd Thursday. We're gonna go with it's Thursday, and if it's not, I will just be over here in Delulu land. School lunches, they auto refill, so I have it set up that when it gets below like $10, I think it'll refill the $50. And then with the slight fee that they tack on there, it ends up being $52.75. What kid this was, I don't know. It'll tell me. I get an email for this and it'll tell me who it was, but also on Thursday we went to the book fair at the elementary school, and my 9-year-old got a book. You know what? I cannot remember what book it was. I do have a rule now. It's not journals, it's not pens, it's not doodads. If we're going to the book fair and buying something, we are buying an actual book that you read. Otherwise, she'll spend $20 on all of the bookmarks and pointer fingery things and everything else, and not ever a book. Although she does like reading much better now. $16.23. Oh, I got mixed up with this coffee date up here for a second. I was like, oh, that's the exact same number. It's not. My eyes just didn't want to follow the right line. Friday, we did a couple of things. I don't know if I spelled maintenance right. My husband ordered some car parts. I don't think that they've arrived yet either. But he did order some car parts for $75.01. I don't know how this happened, that it was 1 cent, but that's actually how it came out. Normally he'll do that to me when he puts gas in a car. He knows it drives my OCD nuts, and it's not my real OCD, it just like round numbers. And I call it my own OCD, just like I like my bookshelf all nice and organized in alphabetical order. So somehow he ordered car parts and it came out to in 1 cent. Also went back to the store because that is just how my weekend went. And the total ended up being $86.68, which is fun. And that was just groceries and household, which was just cat litter. And so the cat litter is $25, and then the rest was groceries, and that was $61.68. And I think my math is right on that. The other thing was our electric bill came out. And the best thing I ever did for my electric bill was to put it on level payments. So no matter if it's summer or winter, $250. No more of this $170 or $420, depending on the month. It's just now $250. And I'm not quite sure when this will get recalculated, or if it's an every month thing or if it's once a year thing. I don't know. Well, hello, spider. Let's keep going that way. Thank you. Just teeny tiny. I'm not sure if that even came up on on the camera because it's this teeny tiny little white spider. But he just moved right along. I'm not worried about him. He can maybe eat a bug or two. Actually, I think all the bugs are bigger than him. He's tiny. Okay, after the electric daycare. There we go. Daycare also comes out every Friday, and I think I was going to switch this over to calculating it coming out on Mondays because that's what it was doing, and then right when I was going to do that, it switched back over. And that's every single week, $326. You're weeks away from this dropping a little bit. And that's when they change rooms. So when some of the baby's change rooms that'll get readjusted. What was the 25th? Saturday. Yes. My husband put 5 gallons into our other car, which turned out to, and I don't know if anybody wants to do this calculation. Somebody else can do the calculation on what $13.47 is for 5 gallons of gas. We live in the Midwest. We do not live in California. Gas is much cheaper here. I do know people who live in California and they complain about it, and then they'll see our gas prices, especially when we've built up enough points at our grocery store where we get discounts on our gas if we buy it from the right gas station. And ours adds up to where you can get up to $1 off. So we have filled up tanks of gas in our cars before where it was like $1.50 a gallon. It's amazing. We have not been able to save up that many points in a while. It's just how it's going at this moment. And of course, on Saturday, went back to the store again because why not? It wasn't even for food. Well, no, it was not for food. It was. Oh, I actually have this. This has actually happened on Friday. We went to the store so many times. I think I did end up at the store twice on Friday. But it's listed on Saturday at the moment, and I'm just not going to change it. My husband and I did a mini, and I don't know how this ended up being a date. We went to the store and we got paints and brushes, and we found paint pens, paint markers. Our toddler used those, and we painted pumpkins. We had gone to the pumpkin patch a few days before. Grandparents came over and went with us. We went and picked out pumpkins. And so my husband and I went to the store and got stuff to paint pumpkins. We don't carve pumpkins. I don't like the sharp knives and little kids. We paint pumpkins, and we've done that ever since my 9-year-old was like a toddler. I think she's the reason why I started doing that, because that's just how it ended up going. But it's great. Our toddler used these paint markers, and so it's just like drawing, but it's paint. Ooh. It was great. And the older girls used actual paint and painted. So we painted pumpkins. We're in the spirit of Halloween now. But we did also grab a couple of pairs of pants for our toddler, and that's why there's a clothing item here. And those are $15, and then and I called it school stuff because it is paints and markers, and we did get a couple other things like glue and stuff. So it just all went in as art supply stuff into school stuff because they will use it for other school projects and everything. And that ended up being $42.81. And I think that was technically the Friday one, and I put it on Saturday because there is that actual Saturday one too. I can't spell. I'm sure I messed that up really bad this time. So on Saturday we went to the store. It was mostly because our teenager in high school was helping out at the school's trunk or treat that they did on Saturday. It ended up being inside because it was raining, and there was no trunks. It was just tables. It was fun. We took the little kids there. But she needed to bring candy for it. So we went to the store and picked up a bag of candy, and then also picked up maple syrup and flour because my kids were requesting me to make pancake muffins. And it's literally just whatever pancake mix recipe that you want, and you could substitute the maple syrup for some of the milk or liquid in it. And I did most, if not all, which is why I needed more syrup. And the more syrup you use, the sweeter it is. So if you don't like a really sweet pancake, don't use as much maple syrup. And then I cook up some sausage and grate up some cheddar cheese and mix it in. And then I also do chocolate chips. But you can do whatever kind of pancake flavor that you like. And then you just bake them in the oven in muffin tins. And they are fantastic. And we've already gone through most of them. So the big, large bag of candy was $25. And then it was $21.06 for the rest of my cooking supplies that I needed to do that. And we did come back after the trunk or treat and everything, and we did paint pumpkins that evening. And I was pulling muffins out of the oven while they were doing that. And then finally yesterday, I was not in the mood to cook. I had already been cooking. I was done. So we actually ate out. I let the kids order dinner out. And sometimes it's just, I'm usually very good about not doing it and not giving in, but it would have been a long week and a really long weekend, and I was just spent. So we ordered out that night. I mean, we did get a deal on like a family meal, so feeding our entire family only cost $32.76, although the fact that I said only is a little annoying because it's a lot. And then we had Hulu come out also this weekend for almost $13. That has gone up. I went and I looked back, and last month it was 10 something, and this month it's $12.98. I really do need to look into canceling that. My husband's student loans also came out this weekend, and those are down to $212.41. And yes, I can't say down to because they started at like $297 before he paid off 3 of his loans. That is currently paused, but it's paused at my loan. The next loan we are gonna start working on is my loan. That's like $12,000. And also our phone bill came out, and that is $144.97. And I know that's a lot, and I know there's cheaper places, and it's just what works for our family right now. It's 3 of us all have phones. They're all paid for. We didn't finance anything. But we also live in a pretty rural area in the Midwest, which I feel like is most of the Midwest. And so some carriers just aren't as good as others. I've had some past coworkers complain about calls dropping and not connecting and them never having service and different things. So this is where we are with our phone bill. It's not changing. We are not pinching pennies. And if we were, then that would change if something catastrophic happened to me or my husband's jobs. The phone bill will probably be something that would change. Oh, the spider's back. Oh, you can't see him. Look at that. Yeah, he's just exploring. He's tiny. But we also have, right, we have not a fully funded emergency fund. We have a small emergency fund. And we have discussed what would happen. We have like 2 cars that fit our entire family. One of them would go. We would sell one. We have backup job ideas on places that are always hiring around us, and how we would split the schedule, and who would do like an evening night shift versus who would do the day shift, and how that would work out daycare would be gone. Like, we have a whole plan that we've discussed in depth a couple of times on what would happen if we both somehow lost our jobs at the same time, and the phone bill is one of them. So in case anybody's worried about our $145 phone bill, I don't like it. It's not fun, but it's just where we're at the moment. So that is all of my expenses for this week. I'm not doing a where my budget is at the moment. I did go in this weekend and recategorize, not recategorize, but readjust some categories, and that really ended up being taking out of stockpile and putting it into eating out. I should not have let my family eat out, but I did. And baby stuff went over by almost $100, and I think I upped gas also because we ended up taking 2 cars last weekend, and both of them got filled up in one day. So it's, you know what, we're here, we're surviving, we're getting through it. We did not use credit cards, we did not go into debt. So it's a win. Even if it's not going exactly how I would ideally love it to go, it could be going a lot worse. And every time we got a bill for a medical bill in the mail this week, and I looked at it and went, we truly are blessed and we are doing well that we can get this bill and I can call them and I can pay it and it be done. And so, like, I think once a week my husband and I look at each other going, we are doing well. We're much better off than we were a year ago, 2 years ago, even the beginning of this year. If you saw my debt update, we're almost 50%. We're so close to 50%. And it sucks that we're pausing it at this moment to get through the next 3 months. But we're doing that so that we don't have to use credit cards. That we don't have to pay interest on anything, on a credit card or setting up a payment plan for anything. Like, traveling for the holidays and having family over and going through all these doctor's appointments and procedures and stuff that my family has been going through. It's just the moment in time that we are in, and we will get back to aggressively paying down our student debts because that's the last thing that we have. And we will get there. We are already ahead of our schedule. So every day is a blessing, and especially this weekend, hearing my kids laugh and play, and the toddler and the baby are interacting more, and they'll laugh at each other and chase each other around, and it's just looking around and realizing all of our blessings that are completely outside of anything financial is what we keep reminding ourselves of. And now that my little rant is over, I apologize. I hope that you have a great Monday and a great week, and that you are able to also look around and see all of your blessings, no matter how big of a struggle different aspects of your life might be at this moment. There's always things to be thankful for and grateful for. So I hope that you remember that this week, and you have a great week and a good weekend and a happy Halloween. Bye.